You know, this idea that there's only one way to do it, that you can't have a life, you must focus on NFL football all the time or you won't be great. Michael Bennett's already a winner. Michael Bennett's an excellent player on an excellent team that has won a championship. Like, he doesn't need to do it the way that is prescribed in order to win. In fact, there was a great article on ESPN.com, and my apologies, because I don't remember the author, whether it was Habistro or Pelton or somebody else. I apologize in advance, but the idea was the culture of teams. They examined the different kinds of cultures in the NBA. There's the Miami Heat, Pat Riley culture, which is very much like the way people perceive the NFL should work. All focus, intensity, all the time, take your work home, etc. And then there's the Spurs culture, which is as winning as any. And what's the Spurs culture? You do your work, and when you're done with your work, you go out to dinner and drink some wine. I mean, like, you don't have to take your work home and be obsessed with it. You can be a three-dimensional human being with other interests and still be great. I applaud Michael Bennett for that statement because there are others who do the same thing, feel the same way, and behave the same way, but they don't promote it because it's verboten. You can't. You know, what do you think of someone with only 15 pieces of flair, right? That's the bare minimum. Office Space, Jennifer Aniston, anyone? Anyone? The point is that it doesn't all have to be done exactly the same way. People can live their lives, be full human beings, and still be great, as Michael Bennett shows.
Well, listen, I completely agree with him as well. I mean, I have zero problem with what he had to say, but I also take I heard what he didn't say as much as what he did say. First of all, give credit where credit is due. This dude is one of the elite pressure pass rushers in the game. I think only J.J. Watt has pressured somebody more than he has. Then you take into account, over the last 3 or 4 years or so, you take that into account along with his run-stopping abilities, and he's clearly one of the elite players in the game of football today. So give credit where credit is due. He's not somebody that skips the voluntary workouts, then shows up for the mandatory, and shows up to training camp and beyond, is out of shape, can't get it done, because he finds a way to be a factor and an impact play on the field. So he deserves our credit and our praise for that. But where I hear what he didn't say, and it hit me more profoundly than anything that he did say, is that he's basically highlighting that for the most part, the NFL essentially throws you to the wolves. You're on your own. Whether it's the concussion issues that we've alluded to or the bevy of other injuries that are not suable offenses, for lack of a better word, that the NFL could find themselves, subjected to, the reality is clear. The sport of football is an incredibly violent sport, and it literally can strip years away from your life, at least in terms of productivity, your ability to walk, your ability to be healthy, your ability to go around and play with your kids and venture to do other things and what have you. The NFL literally tries to make your entire life about them. And Michael Bennett is saying, hell no, that ain't the case with me, and it's never going to be the case. Right. I have a family. I have a wife. I have a life. I have children. I contribute to the school system. I contribute to education. I'm philanthropic in various other ways as well. There's no way on earth that I'm going to have myself completely and totally identified with just the National Football League. Because once my playing days are over, who's to say that the National Football League is going to want to have an identification with me? And I don't blame him for that.
But you could still go to OTAs and be a good parent and member of the community.
He's just saying that he has better things to do.
Yeah, but Max, if this is Giants players, you're cool with them skipping OTAs? Okay.
Hold on. Is it voluntary, yes or no? Because if it's voluntary, and it is,
nothing to talk
that's
about.
Up to
it is
you.
Voluntary.
And the culture in the NFL is such, and the media, the way we focus on it, is such that it's not voluntary. That in fact it's compulsory. Because if you don't volunteer to do it, you're lacking the spirit, the core. Like you're not following the spirit of the thing, and there's something wrong. But if you're an all-pro and you're a champion, then to hell with the way other people want you to do it, the way the NFL culture says you should do it. You're doing it your way, and it's working. We have to decide, is it voluntary or is it not? If it is, there is nothing to talk about.
It is, but there's something to be said for getting as many reps as you can with your team, in my humble opinion. But we will leave it there,
It is
gentlemen.
a very humble opinion because it's voluntary. Come on now. It is voluntary. He ain't doing anything wrong.
Mr.
You think Michael
Workaholic.
Bennett needs more reps? You think Michael Bennett needs more reps, or you want to see him do it the way that's prescribed?
It's not saying Michael Bennett needs more reps. I'm just saying that that's setting a precedent. Right. So for younger players, like people like Odell Beckham, yeah, I do want to see them there. So, yes, I would want them to get every rep they can with the team. I subscribe
so
to
you subscribe
it,
to
doing
the
it like
Miami Heat
everybody else.
culture.
Yes.
You subscribe to the Miami Heat culture. Actually, the
Ma-
Spurs have a
hey,
superior
Max.
culture that's been borne out over time.
Max, you're complicating this. This is the way to give this to Molly. Molly Karam, would you have had a problem with Odell Beckham Jr. if instead of going to South Beach, and we're not talking about voluntary workouts now, we're not talking about OTAs rather, let's say, for example, instead of going to South Beach, he had decided to spend his off day at an elementary school reading to kids. Would you have had a problem with that?
No, of course I wouldn't have a problem if he was
Of course
in
you wouldn't
elementary
have.
school.
So in other words, it's all about what you're doing. That's the point in all of this. Michael Bennett is doing things with the school system. He's doing things with his kids.
Of course I appreciate that.
What's the problem?
But I'm saying that you can do that and go to OTAs. But again,
Well,
my opinion.
Why?
We got to leave
Apparently,
it there.
they're compulsory.